good for a notion salesman.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, ma'am.
Nor anybody else.
River City. River City, next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hogshead cask and demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly paper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bigger, you can talk. You can bigger, bigger, bigger. You can talk, you can talk. You can talk, 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 talk. Bigger, bigger, bigger. You can talk all you wanna, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why it's Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people wanna go, wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get
At
it?
the Model T and all, take a gander at the store. At the modern store, at the present day store. At the present day modern departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? You can talk, you can bigger. You can talk, you can bigger. You can talk, 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 talk. Bigger, bigger, bigger. You can talk all you wanna, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, it's the you need a biscuit made the trouble. You need a put the crackers in a package. The you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package made the Cracker Barrel obsolete.
Obsolete, obsolete, obsolete.
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch cut plug chime by the stove. Changed the approach of a traveling salesman, made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. But you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, cask, and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk pan. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tears.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
Hill.
Hill?
Hill?
Hill? Hill? Hill?
Hill!
No!
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory?
What's the fella's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or the you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line?
Or a doggone thing, he's just a bang beef bell ringing big hog great go necker nothing ripper roaring every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill. Harold Hill.
Tell us, what's his line? What's his
He's
line?
your fake and he doesn't know the territory.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what? He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clever nets to the kids in the town with the big trombone, and the rat-a-tat drum, and the big brass bass, and the piccolo uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat, and the big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a Jew's harp.
No, the fellow sells bands, boys' bands. I don't know how he does it. But he lives like a king, and he dallies, and he gathers, and he plucks, and he shines, and when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City. We've crossed the state line into Iowa. River City. Population 20 to 112. Cigarettes illegal in this state. Bort.
All right. If you're all through, I'll tell you about the great Professor Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never met him in my life, but I know this much. He's out to give every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive gets automatically tarred and feathered and ran out of the city limits on a rail. You think that's funny? Well, wait till it happens to you. I'm still getting feathers out of my hat.
Well, how'd he get rode out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play and to form them kids into a band with himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He doesn't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. He doesn't know a bass drum from a pipe organ. When I catch up to that swindling 2-bit thimble rigger, I'll squeal on him so loud.
Wow. You're mad, Charlie. Sure like to be with you when you catch up with this fella.
Not here, not in Iowa. Not even the great Professor Harold Hill would try to sell to these neckbone Hawkeyes out here.
Fort!
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try.
I don't believe I caught your name.
Mrs. Squires? Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday, if you could accommodate me.
Well then, you ought to find the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late, as usual.
Greg!
Marcellus!
You old son of...
Oh, shh.
But Greg...
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you tell me you was coming?
Well, I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how could I know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, I've got myself lined up a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toffelmare, boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
So, what's the pitch? You're not back in the bed business, are you? I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
Now, give me the lowdown here, Mars.
You'll never get anywhere in the music industry with these stubborn Iowans. Besides, we've got ourselves a stuck-up music teacher who will expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
Who? The music teacher? She's a librarian.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
I will. So, how are you gonna start the pitch?
Same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. And then my next step will be to get your town out of the serious trouble it's in.
River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create some. Have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. You remember the pitch. Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing.
Well,
The billiard parlor put in a new pool table, but, like,
they never had a pool table here before.
no, just billiards.
Perfect. That'll do. See you later, Mars. And don't forget, music teacher.
Music teacher.
Ah, you're Mrs. Dunlop?
Yup.
Well, a pool table, don't you understand? Friend, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you don't wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say. Trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with the cue in my hand are golden. Help you cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leave to yourself from a three-rail billiard shop? But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a balk-line game. I say that any boom can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth, the first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit and listening to some big out-of-town Jasper, hearing him tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they sit down right on a horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy setting on Dan Patch? Make your blood boil? Well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, your River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away. Their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled, or the screen door patched, or the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the Knickerbockers, sure tell young ones, picking in the pool hall window after school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with the capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folk are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They'll be trying out Bevo, trying out Cubans, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall heading for the dance at the Armory, libertine men and scarlet women and ragtime, that shameless music that'll grab your son, your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble! Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. You've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes out of Captain Billy's whiz-bang? Or certain words creeping into his conversation? Certain words like swell, aha, or so's your old man. Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. That stands for pool. We've surely got trouble. We've surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Right here. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Oh, yes, we've got trouble. Oh, we've got terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 numbered balls is the devil's tool. Devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble.
Oh, yes, we got trouble here.
We got big, big trouble.
With a T.
Capital T.
Gotta rhyme it with B.
That rhymes with B.
And that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We got trouble, trouble, folks, right here in River City with the capital
capital T that rhymes with P that stands for boy. Stands for boy.
We got trouble. Right here in the city, right here. Gotta figure out a way to be up once more after school.
Did you drop your,
No.
Didn't I meet you in...
No.
I will only be in town a short while, and...
Good.
That you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Fine, dear. Hello, Mama. Okay, now your exercises.
Yes, Mom. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Ma. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. How dawdle, Amaryllis. So, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to ask what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You can find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with the same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concerns that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why would she take advice from you? Even if you can quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all them other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
Now I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about the stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who may be your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I'd allow a common masher now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who could hope to measure up to that blend of Paul Bunyan, St. Pat, and Noah Webster. You concocted for yourself out of your Irish imagination, your Iowa stubbornness, and your library full of books.
Well, that isn't the best I ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May?
May I have a drink, please?
You may.
Winthrop, it's after dark. Is that a way to walk into the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from my boy. That lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm party on Saturday. Would you please come? I would especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name?
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We all know about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it.
No, thank you, Amaryllis.
Amaryllis! Amaryllis! He's crying. Why does he get so upset at people? Just because he lisps?
It's not just because he lisps, Amaryllis. It's just part of it.
Well, what's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you or your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me, like I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, darling, don't cry. You have lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! I'll end up an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my crosshand piece? May I play my crosshand piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, there's no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, dear. For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. Then you can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
It is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my crosshand piece.
and blue.
I'm sure we're all grateful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, for leading the singing, and to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine piano player. As mayor of River City, I welcome you, River Citizens, to the 4th of July exercises set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. I count the weather. 4 and... The school board shall now be presenting a patriotic tableau. It appears the school board will not be presenting a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Shin family shall present a spectacle. My wife! In which my wife shall take a leading part.
Oh my God. I'm shot, George. What happened? Who shot me? What happened? Who shot me? Tommy Juice! I wouldn't go nowhere if I was you.
Mrs. Shen will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. Fourscore and what? The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days of Pompeii, will take place provided the rain stops by before 9:30. It'll be out to Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Ewert. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
The Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, JC.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business, being accurate most of the time.
You just keep
Now, just a minute here. Let's have order! Order!
Number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
She's late, all right?
She's right on time. What's the matter with your watch?
Will you members of the school board stop your bickering in public?
All in the world that I said was...
Never mind! Fourscore and...
Yeah, pool table.
But, now, just a minute.
Well, is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you please just let me get on with the exercises?
No, we don't want any more exercises until we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite that devil and keep our young boys pure. Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friends, with the wave of my hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Brrrt. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with the gold trombone? Ra-ra, ra-da-da-da-da-ra-ra. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls that come a tumbling down. Oh, a band'll do it, my friends, oh yes, I said a boys band, do you hear me? I say River City's gotta have a boys band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill is on hand. River City's gonna have her boys band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred, and you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals, and hear the thunder of rolling drums, and the shimmer of trumpets. Tan-ta-ra! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottom timpani and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the sky. 76 trombones hit the counterpoint, while 110 cornets blazed away. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and they're marching still right today.
Gentlemen, this calls for emergency action. That man is a spellbinder. Why, I haven't seen Iowa people this excited since the night that Frank Gotch and the Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. But never mind. I want that man's credentials. Grab that hoodlum! He almost blew up Mrs. Shit.
Thanks, Professor. He's quite the troublemaker. Ringleader, you know? What he does, the gang does.
Julie Clyde, let me go!
You wild kid, ya. Hanging around my oldest girl. You wild kid, ya. Tongue-tied down Main Street with my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you counterdict me.
We was just walking together. Julie Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was doing. My little Gracie seen ya. Now, you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing. Over at City Hall, 10 o'clock, sharp. Everyone, I want that man's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
Professor, you don't know this kid. He's tough, and he's got a gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Aw, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
Oh, I'm not talking about you playing in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple times.
You did? You're my man. Do you realize no one has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hang the music.
I wonder where I could get some wire from.
Look in your cellar. That's where people keep wire. Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Young lady, miss. Yes. What's your name?
Zenita, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me. You good.
Do you know Tommy Gillis?
Well,
Tommy, this is Anita. Escort the young lady home.
Only except I'm not going home. You see, I have to go to the library. You gods.
Then, escort the young lady home by way of the library, by way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
You gods.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow, but you made a couple mistakes.
Oh?
The mayor owns the billiard and the pool table.
Ah. What was my other mistake?
That girl's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest.
Excuse me, Professor. We need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates?
Nothing of the kind!
We need letters and papers. Make him put up a bond.
What am I hearing? Say, ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man.
All right. Talk then. Down here, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
See? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you.
Ice cream.
Now you right here.
Ice cream.
Now you, ma'am.
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of those individuals without the other three.
Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for the past 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream.
How can there be
any
sin insincere? Where is the good in goodbye? In goodbye. Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear. While one single star shines above, how can there be any sin insincere? Aren't we sincerely in love? Oh, we're in love.
I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No!
Well, I've got some wonderful caramels over at the hotel. If you've
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of '05.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some other people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there which may very well give me some very interesting information about you.
Hey, Greg.
Oh, hi, Marcellus. Don't call me Greg.
How'd you make it out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. 8 out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did? Boy, did you cut a swath tonight. Even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like when you used to imitate that band concert fella back in Joplin.
Yeah. Kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. You just keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It only takes 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Well, it still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Uniforms? Oh, no, Greg, don't tell me you got uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Uniforms and instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. I mean, not for any 4 weeks.
Mars. See,
you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't bother with notes. Foolproof.
But in 4 weeks, the people are gonna want to hear some music. You're gonna have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they forget everything. At least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. And I've got it timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Gonna line yourself up some canoodling? Huh?
Well.
I could set you up with Ethel's sister. Nice girl. Teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs. No spider ever... Listen, boy. A gal who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, for no Diana do I play fawn. I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz. For the lady who knows what time it is, I cheer and I rave. For the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me. Oh, bright-eyed, blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting all the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, why she's the fisherman, I'm the fish, you see. Plot! I flinch and I shy when the lass with the delicate air walks by. I smile and I grin when a gal with a touch of sin walks in. I hope and I pray for Hester to win just one more A. The sadder but wiser girl's the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
Oh, Professor Hill, we are all agog, simply agog.
Thank you, V.
Everyone's so excited about the band.
I'm Ethel Toppelmeyer, the pianola girl, and this is Mrs. Squires and Mrs. Hicks. And of course you met our mayor's wife, Julie the technician. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I couldn't say. I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure, and naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I'm reticent.
Yes, of course, Mr. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my music plans include a committee on the dance. No, wait. Do that again, Mrs. Shin. Your foot, the way you raised it just now.
Well, I have a bunion there that bothers.
Oh, what grace. What natural flow of rhythm. What expression of line and movement.
Mr. Hill.
You must accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Auxiliary for the classic dance. Mustn't she, ladies?
Oh, Eulalie, you must.
Every move you make, Miss Shin, bespeaks Delsart. Will you say yes, Mrs. Shin?
Eulalie McKechnie Shin. That is dancing.
Then
well.
you accept?
Yes, indeed. And I would like to say that
Yes, thank you. Now, the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Peru, I believe? Well, after all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a little, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a little, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 talk a little, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, 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 pick a little.
Professor, her husband doesn't belong on any committee. Of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but she advocates dirty books.
Dirty books?
Chaucer!
Bradley!
Balzac!
And the worst thing is, of course, I shouldn't tell you this, but
I'll tell.
The man lives on my street. Let me tell.
Stop! I'll tell. She made brazen overtures to a man who had no friends in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison. Madison Gymnasium. Madison Picnic Park. Madison Hospital. That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say. Show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen coming and going from his place.
Oh, yes, that woman made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged guarantee. She had a golden glimmer in her eye and a silver voice with a counterfeit ring. Just melt her back and you'll reveal a lump of lead as cold as steel. Here, where a woman's heart should be.
Hey, lads, when we're city, the library building, but he left all the books to her.
Chaucer!
Bradley!
Balzac!
Yes, of course. I have just what you want over at the hotel. Come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you
It's all right. I know everything, and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
You were probably very young. Anyone could make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations, please. I'll only be in town a short while, and a sadder but wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what would you like to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not listening, Marion. Marion. Marion, look. Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big glassy with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Shh! Madam Librarian. What can I do my dear, to catch your ear. I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigademan had to whisper the news to Marian. Madam Librarian. What can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marian, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. Now in the moonlight, a man could sing it in the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight helping along. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. But when I try in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win, for the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights. Madam Librarian. Well, Tommy, we've had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Tell you what, it's almost noon. You better go home and get some dinner. I'll try a couple by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You don't have a license.
Oh, I know, Mayor Shin. I collect doorbells. This particular specimen of yours has a unique tone quality. I especially...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Why haven't you been down to City Hall with your references?
Well, I just missed you. Mr. Mayor, your hand.
What is it?
That spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh? What does that mean?
It means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that America has at last produced an artist that can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Where can I get one of these horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 import fee.
Yes, sir. Just think, I could have missed this whole... I haven't got any son! You unscrupulous flew-by-night! You unflipulous... You be down City Hall with your by-dod papers by 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, by George. Not that he could ever be really great, you understand, but...
Oh, is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all of the really great cornet players were Irish. O'Clark, O'Mendez, O'Klein.
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No. No, really, that clinches it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine, fine. That'll be $7 earnest money. Nothing more due till the first installment, payable at opening of band practice. Thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his band uniform.
His uniform?
Oh, hello, son. Oh, why, of course, his band uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine, at no cost whatsoever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the pleasures and excitement of today.
Would it have a
Stripe. Certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anyone can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'd pick you for a hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, shamrock-wearing, harp-playing, maverdine pinching, Tara's Hall minstrel-singing Irishman. Whew. Big gobbin', big jabbers. Where are you from, my boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it! Gary... Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Yes, of course. Gold medal class of '05. How do you do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Of course, Peru. I thought the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night, but...
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy could have his father's musical gift.
Oh.
He does have my jaw, you know.
Your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a talk with him. I'm sure we could...
Do you burst in on everyone's home like this? Prying into personal affairs? We are not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Now why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh. I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason why your brother should have something like this.
My brother is a 10-year-old child who can't understand why his father's been taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? Because he's been brooding about it for 2 years. As to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
My musical tricks. Miss Peru, I hardly... You know, I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor Hill. About the boy's measurements. I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
Fine, that's all I need. Now I must get back to the hotel.
Oh, one more thing. I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really...
Oh, please. Don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has, and I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future? Gary, Indiana, conservation class of Lot 5. Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, women-chasing, traveling man that comes to town. And the fact that he claims that his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. Only it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Come here, darling. Will you please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb for the book I set aside? It's the Indiana State Education Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now what are you up to? What do you need books for at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling that the Indiana Journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Greiner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage and that buggy of his with the removable back seat.
Oh.
But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now. All I want is a plain man. All I want is a modest man, a quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself and more interested in us than in me. And if occasionally he'd ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him where the others ride by. Walk and love him till I die. Till I die.
Zanita, hey, Zanita! Tommy! Mom and Papa are sitting right there in the bank. He got. All right, then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's at First League night.
Okay, meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see, isn't that just what I said? First it's the lumberyard, and now it's the footbridge. And where will you meet me after that? The black hole of Calcutta? Ye gods!
I just wanted to show you my invention.
Wait, what invention?
My music holder for a marching piccolo player. It still has a couple minor flaws. See, when you keep it tight enough to hold the music steady, you cut off the circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa!
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes! Very first thing I said. Morning of July 4th, 1912. Get that man's credentials, I said. And now look! My wife is off dancing at any and all hours
But George,
instead of being in the home. The school board is sitting up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl is off boodling around with some wild kid from the wrong side of town, and my business has fallen off so far I can't find the balance sheet.
Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's all I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of '05.
If you'll just take some time to read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you'll have to look much further. It's on page...
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon is just coming down from the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon? Nonsense! The Wells Fargo wagon at this time of day? A likely story. The Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the band instruments.
The band instruments?
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday.
And once I got some grapefruit from Tampa.
Montgomery Ward sent me a bathtub and a cross-cut saw.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street. A prepaid surprise or COD.
Or it could be.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right, it surely could be.
Something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is a coming down the street. I wish I knew what he was coming for.
I got my salmon from Seattle last September. And I expect my new rocking chair. I hope I get my presents from Fresno.
The DAR have sent a cannon for the courthouse square.
Men, you will each receive individual instruction in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G.
Sister! Sister! Oh, I never thought I'd ever see anything so scrumptious as this scrumptious solid gold C. Oh, sister!
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by-da tootin' out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the county court. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
Come, George Tempest, you just...
You watch your phraseology and get along with you. I got the book from Miss Marion.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.